All right, guys, what's going on? This is Mario. I'm trying something different. I actually recording a podcast from my backyard, my back deck, patio, concrete slab, whatever you want to call it. I'm just coming to tell you guys, you can follow me out there everywhere in them digital streets. I'm out there, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all those places. But I just wanted to get into a few things real quick because I don't know how long my camera gonna last. I don't know how long this lavalier mic gonna last. None of this stuff. So I'm just shooting by the hip, trying something different. All right, so y'all see the elections have happened. Y'all see what it was. Y'all see what it is. Y'all see how it came about. Y'all see how it transpired. So it's one of them type of things where you don't have to guess anymore. It's one of them type of things where you don't have to wonder anymore. It's one of them type of things where people have spoken, and now that people have spoken, what we got to do, we got to listen, right? We got to listen. We got to understand what's really real, what's really happening, and how all this is, coming about. Because a few things has happened, in my opinion. And before I get started and before all this get going, I just want to say this is all in my opinion, right? But a few things has happened, and we all know that. The people have spoken, and not just people of color, but everybody. And matter of fact, the people of color have spoken. The Hispanics, black males have decided that they would rather vote for Trump than vote for Kamala, and that's what it is. Because we got this notion. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but quite a few black men has this notion that if you vote for Trump, then your money will increase. You're gonna have increased prosperity if you vote for Trump. And then the Hispanic people, for whatever reason, voted for Trump in record numbers. So I'm not discounting any of that, because let's just be honest. Sometimes right here where the country is at now, there's a lot of things that could be fixed, could be uh, change, you know what I mean? Groceries, housing, energy, just what you're paying for regular bills, subscription services going up. They told us they told us about 10, 15 years ago that deregulation was going to be the thing that made it where everything is cheaper when it came to your utilities and your energy. But as we saw that just wasn't true, because things steadily went up, whether these things were monopolized or they were deregulated. No matter how it transpires, it went up. But what it proves to you to say that no matter who comes over to this country, no matter what type of race or what type of creed or what type of nationality they are, is one thing that is very apparent, is one thing that is very clear. They could come from the most war-torn country, they can come from the most persecuted country, they can come from the most oppressed country. But once they get here, they all got one thing that they hang their hat on. They got one thing that they know for sure. At least we ain't black, right? Okay, so we got that out the way. That is what that is. So you got this guy who wanted to become, part of MAGA, say he loved MAGA and he wanted to, join in the festivities and join it, stuff like that. Person of color, black guy. And then he was, dissatisfied at the fact they told him that you don't belong here. This is not your type of thing. We don't really want you here. We just needed your vote. And now that we got your vote, you can get on up out of here. You can kick rocks. You can go on and get the hell on. And that's the general consensus. Because when you think about it and you look at some of these websites and you look at some of the stuff that I follow, they say some of the biggest Google searches that happen on the night of the presidency, on the night of the election, of the race, was how can I change my vote? And as a American, that ain't happening. That ain't a real thing. And it's just one of them things that you can wish all you want, but you ain't changing your vote. So that is what that is. The question is this, now do you see? Right? Because, we've been saying for a long time, when they say MAGA, make America great again, the question is, who are you saying make America great for? Because you name a time when America was great for people of color, then that would be currently right here, right now, this era, this generation. So, and a lot of people are starting to jump the gun with the whole Trump thing. You know, they saying nothing about the overtime. You got companies buying up stock, stocking up warehouses because of the tariff. And then you got a lot of people who don't understand what tariffs are. A lot of people who voted for Trump, small business owners and people who import from China, truly didn't understand what tariffs are. They don't understand that the tariff means that you pay the tax or you pay the fee or you pay whatever tariff they're trying to levy on these products, so that they can encourage you not to buy from them, to encourage companies that get all their products from over there to start trying to homegrown manufacture jobs, products, and services, and fabrics and materials. Start trying to do that here. Well, the problem with a lot of that is just a lot of things that they use to manufacture things aren't naturally produced here, naturally grown here. Some of the raw materials aren't in this region of the world. So it just seems like you would have understood what a tariff was before you decided to get out here and parade and get on making TikToks and making all these videos before you said, saying what tariff is going to do and saying that he's going to charge China. Why would China pay a tariff to send something over here, right? I mean, when you logically think about it, it don't make sense, because they're sending products all over the world. Granted, they do ship a lot of stuff to us, but at the end of the day, a lot of these congressmen and people in power, that people that makes resolutions and people that vote, are sitting on the board of a lot of these companies, or trustees at a lot of these companies, and they're not going to let Donald Trump enact whatever he's trying to act, because at the end of the day, it will be capping their dollars. At the end of the day, it will be capping their bonuses. So it will be flat out political warfare if Donald Trump tried to do something like that. So everybody's jumping the gun. I just don't understand, how has Donald Trump got so much power and he ain't even took office yet, and people are preemptive jumping the gun before things have even happened. So it goes to show you that it boils down to people are afraid. Companies are afraid. CEOs are afraid. Countries are afraid. And the one thing you gotta give Donald Trump is that, from all his talking and for all his rhetoric and for all the crazy stuff that Donald Trump says, it's a certain level of power people really do believe Donald Trump have. And from you seeing the way people reacted, that means that there's a certain amount of power that he actually does have, because his words, and by him being elected, being the president-elect, has moved certain needles, has moved certain CEOs, moved certain companies, moved certain industries, to make people start preemptive doing things to prepare for the day that he takes over office. So all the crap and all the rhetoric that he talked, he has power, because we're seeing it right now. And I'm not a Trump fan, but at the end of the day, you got to respect the fact that they believe in what he say. They fear him enough to start doing things. They fear him enough to start stacking warehouses full of products, which is kind of crazy, because at the end of the day, what if these are products that don't sell and you're spending money on things that potentially it may not move? And then at the end of the day, you're wasting money that could be going to salaries employees. You're wasting money that could be put into people's Christmas bonus. You're wasting money that could be going into people's 401ks and retirement plans. But then at the end of the day, when this stuff don't move like you think it's going to move, you're going to have to tell somebody that they can't get their Christmas bonus this year, that they're not going to be able to get time off, or they're not going to be able to pay overtime because the company just don't have the money to pay you overtime. So these all are trickle down effects. These are all the domino effects of what's going on, all because of the illusion of what Trump has said. Even though he has even became the president, yet he hasn't been sworn in, but everybody is running around here like the big bad wolf is coming to town, and the big bad wolf ain't even in the city yet, but they doing things to prep up the city to prepare for the wolf. So with that being said, y'all could say all the crazy stuff about Trump that you want, but there's a certain level of power when somebody is running afraid when you ain't even stepped into the building that means your reputation precedes you. That means that to a certain degree, to a certain level, they absolutely believe you and they absolutely fear you. And that's the God honest truth. And I hate to put it like that. And I hate to come on and do this from my backyard. And I know this is different from me being in the studio. And I know this is not the norm, but I felt like I just wanted to do this. It was a good day, but unfortunately, this is going to be really short because, as y'all could probably see, I am losing daylight. I should have did this much earlier, but I'm losing daylight, but it is fine. I'm going to keep going for a couple more minutes because I just want to ask that particular question. Now, do you see? So, all the people who did the voting for Trump should have did your due diligence before you actually went into the box. And then they got to keep in mind, there's a lot of people who said they were not going to vote for Trump, just lied out into the public, lied out to regular people. Then when they got into the box, they voted for Trump. And then we got to also just be honest and look at the elephant that's in the room. There's a certain type of man that's never ever gonna vote for a woman, that believes that a woman can't tell him what to do, can't tell him shit. So regardless of how you look at it, the misogyny, the misogynistic man and the misogynistic nature of this country was alive and prevalent during this election. So even though she did a really good job of raising campaign funds. She did a good job of rallying some of the celebrities and people like that. But I think it's two key demographics that she did not touch, and I think it really cost her the election. They say it was over 10 million people that did not vote, right? And I would imagine that a lot of those 10 million people are first-time young voters. Kamala did not do a good enough job to appeal to the young kids, to the young voters uh, who was going to be first-time voters getting out there, being part of this for the first time. And she did not appeal to the people who's never voted. You got to get down on these young kids' level and make them understand that you see where they coming from. You should have had Glorilla. You should have had Meg the Stallion and people like that out there campaigning for you who can reach the kids, because you got to understand there's 5 to 6 to 7 million new voters, and they say it was 10 million that did not vote. I just think she overlooked that because she figured she was just going to cater to the people that voted. They spent so much time talking about the economy and talking about shoring up the border and what's going to be done with the border and the Ukraine and the Israel, that they tend to forget. They forgot to take care ground zero. They forgot to take care, the grassroots people. They forgot to get the young kids, because when the young kids feel like they are attached to no candidate, I ain't voting for Trump. He's an old, white man that, my mom and my parents and the world has told me that to fear. They ain't voting for Kamala because she is a old lady who don't seem like she connects with us. She didn't say one thing where I can clap for. She didn't say one thing where I can get behind and root for. She just seemed like an old lady who was talking to my mama them, and I tuned her out mentally because she ain't talking to me. And let's just be honest. Kamala gave speeches and she talked as if she was giving a graduation commencement speech. She had no charisma. She had no pizzazz. And I understand that she was thrust in it at the last minute. I understand that they was like, oh, we better scramble. Who can do it? Well, she can do it. And I also blame the Democrats. The Democrats said that they had issues or concerns about Joe Biden 2 years ago. So if you felt concerns or you had issues with Joe Biden 2 years ago, why didn't you go ahead and start propping somebody up then to become whatever you felt y'all, the Democratic Party, needed? The next hot person, the next face of the Democrat Party. That means that y'all got to share some of this blame too. It's enough blame to go around to everybody. If y'all felt that man was diminishing in mental capacity, y'all should have took precautionary measures to get this man, to get somebody else in there to be ready to take the reins and get going. But y'all didn't do that. Y'all didn't do that. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I still ask the question. Now, do you see? Now, do you see? So at some point, we're going to all sit back and we're going to look at it 4 years from now. Either Trump's just crazy enough to get the country right, or he's just crazy. And I'm going to leave it at that because I'm losing daylight. And I know this is not a full-fledged podcast, and I'm sorry I don't have all the bells and whistles that it normally have. I'm outside. But I got a chance to go in and do some post-editing and probably add the bells and whistles at that point. But I just wanted to get on and just say, now do you see? For all you people out there who wanted to vote that didn't vote, who said that voting doesn't matter, who said that they're going to pick who they want to pick anyway, so why should I vote? This is why you should vote. So, good luck with Agent Orange. So now he's 45, 47. You know what I mean? That's his. I'm pretty sure he changed his passcode at his house and stuff. He's how do you get in the gate, Trump? Oh, the code is 45, 47. So when you out there the next time this come along, for the people who's like 20, 21 eligible to vote now, and you'll probably be 24, 25, and you probably be, let's just be honest, some of y'all gonna be on your first kid, some of y'all gonna be on your second kid, and some of y'all real not right people, or real freaky people gonna be on your third kid. Make sure you vote, because the future of those kids that you about to have, that you ain't had yet, gonna depend on it. And never ever let it come out your mouth again that they gonna do what they gonna do anyway. Why should I vote? My vote don't count. My vote don't matter. As you see, that is absolutely false. Now that's fake news. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with your boy in this short uh impromptu version of the podcast. I thank you. If you just happen to run across this on TikTok, or you run across it on Facebook or whatnot, just go ahead and like. And for all y'all people that be out there looking at the profile and don't follow, that is rude. That is very inconsiderate. That's disrespectful. If you're gonna watch the profile, go ahead and follow. I'm gonna follow you back, because the truth of the matter is you're gonna want somebody like me on your team. Because as I always say now, well, I don't always say, as my new thing is, they don't make them like this anymore. So, all right, I think I just covered up the microphone when I did that, but they don't make them like this anymore. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. Mario is out. Thank you for tuning in to the Random Select podcast, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, Mario.